Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. I'm AV. Each week, we connect with people all over the country to spotlight things you can check out right in your own neighborhood. On this week's show, we've got a little bit of everything, such as this.
One of my New Year's resolutions is to try to get more sleep. So if I learn from my teenager that she has an early morning soccer game on Saturday, I know that I should not be scheduling a late night dinner on Friday.
One of the things that women told us repeatedly is they don't want their partner to say, how can I help? What can I do?
All that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. And who's not in search for that perfect summer bod? Do you ever feel like every new year you start with good intentions, but those healthy habits don't always stick? A lot of us want to eat better, feel stronger, and keep up with busy schedules without overthinking every meal. Today, we're joined by Dawn Jackson Blatner, a registered dietitian and nutritionist who's helped everyone from pro athletes to busy families build smarter eating habits. Welcome, Dawn.
Well, hey, thank you for having me. And I mean, you're so right. This is like resolution season. And by now, most people's resolutions are long gone. And that's really because a lot of people want to make these big changes. And what works is actually the opposite, is small changes that are called micro habits. And it's something like, water before your coffee, or a little more protein at breakfast, or a 5-minute walk after lunch. Little things people are like, that's not going to work. But it's magic because you can stick with it long term and start creating really great healthy momentum.
I like that word, momentum.
Yes.
So many people set healthy goals this time of year. What's the key to actually making those changes last?
Yeah, it's really this micro change, this idea of micro change, that you don't have to become a new person, even though people say new year, new you, you don't become new. Just these small little things like, a little more protein at breakfast or that 5-minute walk after lunch. It will absolutely make you healthier.
Okay. Well, I see a lot of great things around you. Let's talk about the kitchen when it comes to everyday nutrition. What are a few staples you recommend keeping in the kitchen?
Yeah, so you're really only as healthy as your last trip to the grocery store. So what are you going to buy there? And there's this cool social media trend that I really like. It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grocery plan. And so you go to the store and you buy 5 different types of fruits and vegetables. You buy 4 different types of protein foods like eggs and yogurt and beans and tuna, 3 different types of healthy carbs, 2 different types of healthy fats, and then 1 type of dessert. You bring all of that home, and all of a sudden you have enough that you can mix and match and make a lot of balanced meals.
Well, you talk about something called train your plate. I imagine it's not what I'm doing. What does that mean in simple terms for us?
Okay, people know you go to the gym to train your body to get strong, but your plate can also make you feel strong and energized. You start with protein on your plate, put colorful fruits and vegetables, and then healthy carbs for energy. And that is a great plate to make you feel so good. I also really like to tell people that champions don't just wing it, they plan it. So a little bit of meal prep can actually go a long way when it comes to making healthy eating easier.
Meal prep sounds great, but for someone who doesn't do it, it really starts to feel overwhelming. Where's a good place to start?
Yes, so keep meal prep simple. That's the key thing. Don't have it take over your life for a whole day. And I love 2 recipes that I'm going to share with you, okay? The first one, protein pancake bowls. Very simple ingredients. It's eggs, yogurt, some oats, fruit. And then you make 4 at a time and keep them in your fridge. So if you're having a busy morning or after the gym, you can grab a protein bowl. Tastes like pancakes. And it's about 30 grams of protein. You can also make some snacks up. I call these the fitness snack packs. And it's eggs, cheese, whole grain pretzels, fruit. Put a bunch of these in containers. And then when you're running out the door, you can grab one and then you don't have to feel low energy. You can come energized with your snack packs. And anytime I'm meal prepping, I always start with Eggland's Best Eggs because they're a champion of nutrition. They have 10 times more vitamin E, 6 times more vitamin D, and 25% less saturated fat compared to ordinary eggs. So it's an easy way to get more nutrition into the recipes that you're actually making.
I'll tell you what, those pancakes look fantastical.
Yes.
So you're also tied to a sweepstakes with this initiative. What can people win and how can they enter?
Oh, I love a sweepstakes. So here's what's going on. Eggland's Best teamed up with Olympic gold medalist Katie Ledecky. And they are making families healthier, all starting with a better for you egg. And part of their partnership is what's called the Eggland's Best Champion Sweepstakes. So right now, until March 10th, you can go to ebfamilysweeps.com and enter daily for a chance to win the grand prize of $5,000 and swag that's signed by Katie Ledecky herself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if people are ready to make that jump into that food momentum, where can viewers find recipes for more tips, and where should they go for more information?
Yes, so everything is at ebfamilysweeps.com. So that's the sweepstakes where there's no purchase necessary to enter. And the recipes, the protein pancake bowls and the fitness snack packs, those recipes are on there as well.
Dawn, thank you so much for hanging out with us and giving us all this great information. You have a good day.
Thank you so much. Happy, healthy New Year to you.
Do you ever feel like the holidays are over, but you're still the one keeping everything in your head? There's new survey data that puts real numbers on that default parent pressure and what it's doing to moms with stress and burnout. So joining us is Wendy Naugle, USA Today Network Executive Editor of Entertainment, with takeaways from a new USA Today Peacock survey and some simple ways family could start sharing the mental load a little more. Welcome to the show, Wendy. How are you, my friend?
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
All right, for anyone who's hearing mental load and thinking, wait, what does that actually mean? How do you explain it in real life terms?
So that is everything that basically keeps the household running. All of that to-do list of, permission slips, lunch boxes being packed, where are the hats and gloves, creating all the holiday magic. That's the mental load that women are carrying around, making sure that everything gets done.
And your survey of 1,600 parents found some huge gaps in who's handling the day-to-day decisions. So what stood out most to you? And what do those numbers say about those who are carrying the weight at home?
Well, I think there were a couple of things. 8 in 10 women told us that they're the primary decision maker in their household, but also 64% that they said they are handling that day to day, packing the lunches, all of those daily tasks that really just somebody has to do it. It's falling to them. As a result, 34% of women told us they feel overwhelmed every single day. And another third of women told us that they feel that way several times a week. I think that's really concerning because when you think about the care and mental health of our kids who themselves may be struggling, how can we make sure they are in a good place if the people caring for them are really at their breaking point?
And the holidays, they might be over, but a lot of people feel like they're starting the new year already exhausted. What's a couple of practical, doable ways that families can reduce that mental load this week and without turning everything into a fight?
Well, I think it's really important to not do it in those heated moments when you might feel tired or frustrated. Instead, see if you can set aside some time to have the conversation in a very non-judgmental way. Sit down and say, here's everything that we need to get done to have the life we want to have. And then think about who can take which portion of that. That way, it's a conversation and it's something that you can come back to time and time again. It also helps instill some habits. Also be mindful of what works for your family. One of the things that women told us, 41% feel the pressure to be a perfect parent. Women also said that if something goes wrong, it's their responsibility to fix it, and they're the ones who get blamed. That's a big storyline that comes up in All Her Fault, and I think it's why it resonated so much with women. So knowing that those external factors are present and are so strong, that's why it's important to have the conversation of what's right for you and your family. It gives you a touchstone to come back to when you feel those pressures creeping in, and then you'll know this is what we have decided works for us.
And for some of the couples watching, what is one starter conversation you recommend? Maybe something that could help reset expectations without sounding like there's blame or even criticism.
Well, I would say, the easy start is actually maybe not a conversation, but action. One of the things that women told us repeatedly is they don't want their partner to say, how can I help? What can I do? Because then they have the extra load of coming up with a to-do list, making sure that task gets done. Instead, look around, see what you can help with, and just dive right in.
All right. This survey also connects back to the storyline in Peacock's series, All Her Fault. What about that show sparked such a big reaction, and why do you think so many moms saw it in themselves?
I think there are so many moments in this show where women see themselves. It starts in the very first episode when Sarah Snook, the lead character, goes to pick up her son Milo, and he's not at the play date. And people immediately point fingers at her of how could she not know the details of this play date? How could she make this mistake? It is all her fault. There are many other scenes in the show with Dakota Fanning's character of how she is trying to juggle her career and all of the duties for her child, and her partner is just not present. And he just thinks he needs some downtime. For her, downtime is shopping and taking care of the house. And so she's not really getting a break at all. And these are themes that probably most moms have had in their friend groups that they're talking about a lot. Women in our survey said that they do turn to friends and family for help a lot, but in third place was the person that they probably should start with is their partner. So make sure you're having the conversations with your partner as well, so that you can hopefully create some new habits and a little bit of change in your own household.
Wendy, I want to thank you for joining me today. If this conversation hits home, you got to pull your partner in for a quick, let's say, reset talk, maybe even 10 minutes, and decide who owns a few of the recurring weekly tasks. And if you wanted to get deeper into the survey results and the bigger part of the conversation, you can read the USA Today coverage and stream All Her Fault. It's available now on Peacock. Wendy, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
Do you ever dream of uncovering lost treasure, exploring ancient tunnels, or even chasing down history's greatest mysteries? You know, Josh Gates lives that adventure for real. And he's back with brand new seasons of Expedition Unknown and Expedition Files on Discovery Channel. Fresh off a Daytime Emmy win, Josh's latest expeditions dig deeper than ever, from inside Egypt's Great Pyramid to tracking hidden treasures around the world. Josh, it's great to see you here.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, I guess without giving out too much away or spoiling for everybody, what is one moment this season that you thought to yourself, I can't believe we're actually pulling this off?
I think it's our season premiere, which is this big 2-hour, 2-part special on the Great Pyramid of Giza. And look, this building, which is 4,500 years old, has always inspired conspiracy theories and mystery. And so we are going to crawl through every inch of the Great Pyramid, sections that are closed to the public. We're going to descend deep beneath the pyramid into the bedrock itself. And to be down there in those tunnels was just such an absolute, electric thrill. And to take our viewers with us, that's the moment where I was like, I can't believe we're doing this.
You blend science, history, and adventure better than anyone, maybe even Han Solo when he's out adventuring a little bit. How do you keep the sense of wonder alive while still chasing the facts?
I mean, that's not hard at all, because these stories have such an incredible natural hook. I mean, look at this season. We're doing, looking for lost passages in the Great Pyramid of Giza, searching for a sunken Nazi submarine, having a real-life Goonies adventure on the Oregon coast. I mean, these stories are so exciting in and of themselves that it's easy to be enthusiastic about them, to be just pulled along for the ride, because these mysteries are just so enduring.
And it's always a mystery, and it's always surprising. Is there an expedition this season that surprised you or maybe took an unexpected turn?
We wanted to do something to honor the 40th anniversary of the Goonies. It's a movie that is so near and dear to me and was so seminal for me growing up. And I was shocked to learn, as I'm sure a lot of people will be, that the Goonies is kind of based on a true story, in that there was an actual Spanish galleon that wrecked off the Oregon coast that inspired the screenwriters of the Goonies. And this is not some legend. This is not some myth. This is an archaeological fact. And so we are going to Oregon to investigate the remains of this Spanish shipwreck and to see if there's any treasure out there and to look for booty traps and all that great Goonies stuff. So it's going to be an awesome adventure.
Team, you guys want to go look for some treasure? I'm in.
Yes.
Okay. Fans love both Expedition Unknown and Expedition Files. Can you give us the elevator pitch? What is the biggest difference between the two shows and why people should be tuned in for both hours?
Sure. I mean, Expedition Unknown is our boots on the ground exploration adventure show. So we spend the whole hour, or in the season premiere, 2 hours, investigating far-flung mysteries around the world. That's where we're going to be crawling in tunnels, macheting through jungles, diving into the unknown. Expedition Files, we are able to tackle 3 stories per hour, and these are incredibly iconic mysteries. I serve as a kind of guide through those stories, taking our viewers into the past, meeting experts and authors and historians that have, revelations, breaking news about some of the most famous cases in history. So that's really kind of pulling open the adventure filing cabinet and looking into these really awesome stories. And Expedition Unknown invites you to literally get dirty and get out there in the world with us.
And for those of us who don't have a film crew, we got that. Check. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. You got one.
Or machete. Oh, I don't have the machete. What's one explorer habit or tip that anyone can use to bring like a little adventure into their everyday life, I guess?
My number one tip for people who want to have an adventure is to just do it. You know, people say to me all the time, man, I wish I could have adventures like you. Hey, anybody can have an adventure. That's the thing about adventure. It's no frills, no huge infrastructure needed. No matter where you are in the country watching this, right nearby you within a few hours is a state park or a place to go hiking or camping to explore something you've never done before. So, you know, the outdoors is just waiting for us. Adventure is everywhere. And so I encourage everybody to take out a map and to go someplace you've never been before, near or far, and have your own adventure.
Josh Gates says, if you want to be a Bilbo Baggins and go on an adventure, pull a Nike and just do it. See, like I put two.
Just do it.
Yeah, there you go. Josh Gates, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you are into real-world mysteries, big swings, and a host who actually gets dirt under his nails, watch Josh Gates on Discovery. New episodes of Expedition Unknown and Expedition Files on Wednesday nights. Check your local listings and stream full episodes at discovery.com. Thanks for hanging out with me, Josh.
Hey, all the best, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Do you ever wonder how someone so monstrous hid in plain sight for so long? Peacock's new limited series, Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy, peels back the layers of the crimes and centers on the lives that were forever changed. So joining us is the star of the series, Michael Chernus, who takes on the role of Gacy with a careful human lens. Welcome to the show, Michael. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I want to thank you for being here. What drew you to this role, and how did you approach portraying Gacy without doing the thing where a lot of them do, like glorify him?
This is a great question, and thank you for saying that. I was hesitant at first, to be honest. I didn't know if I wanted to tie my name to his name for the rest of all time, and I didn't know what I could bring to this story that hadn't already been done before. The story's been covered ad nauseum since 1978. But when I talked to Patrick McManus, our showrunner and executive producer, he told me this idea of focusing on the victims and their families, and that we'd have these like short stories in every episode where you would meet some of his victims before they ever crossed paths with John Gacy. And that was really intriguing to me. And he also told me that we weren't going to see any murder on screen, and that he really wasn't interested in showing the killer clown persona that we all know so well. And so for me, that was really interesting and intriguing because, like you said, I could just focus on the man and who he was, and not sensationalize him or certainly not glorify him, but really just to show him as he was, so that maybe we could begin to understand why he did what he did. And one of the things I discovered was that he was just hiding in plain sight. He was a real kind of just a regular guy, a blue-collar suburban Chicago contractor, and nothing that sort of spectacular, interesting about him. He was just kind of blended into normal society, which to me is actually much more terrifying than some, mustache twirling villain character.
And the show highlights missed opportunities and systemic failures. What did you learn about how this went unchecked for so long?
That was one of the most disturbing things doing the research, was seeing the systemic failures and institutional bias that allowed Gacy to get away with this for so long. A lot of his victims were young men who either came from, poor families, backgrounds that the police didn't seem to care about. They wrote them off as runaways. Some of them had drug problems. Some of them were sex workers. Some of them were homosexual. And so often the police would just kind of look the other way. Gacy's name was brought to the Chicago PD a number of times. And they would interview him, and he would often say, "Oh yeah, I met that kid, but the encounter we had was completely consensual. The sex was consensual, and I don't know where he is, or I drove him back to work, and I don't know where he went from there. And so the cops kind of turn the other cheek a lot of the time. And another piece of it is that the technology now is so much better. Back then, police departments didn't speak to each other the way they do now. John Gacy had been arrested in 1968 in Iowa, but when he got released and moved to Chicago, the Chicago PD had no record of that prior felony.
And as an actor stepping into a role who did something so heinous in real life, how do you explore creating that character for yourself without either going too deep into it or making it too much of a parody?
Yeah, very carefully is how you explore it. It's really tricky stuff. One of the things I discovered about Gacy was just that he wore these different masks all the time, that he said it himself. There were these different versions of John. There was John the contractor, John the politician, John the family man. And so I started to realize in scenes I didn't have to play the entire human being all at once. I didn't have to show all of the darkness. I was just playing the version of him in that scene that he wanted you to see, you being whoever was in front of him. And so he really was a master manipulator, in my opinion, and he was a chameleon. And so he could kind of be whoever he felt like you needed him to be in that moment. And as an actor, that was a great gift because I didn't have to show the darkness all the time. But it was tough. It was tough not to take it home with me at the end of the day.
Michael Chernus, I want to thank you for joining me today. All 8 episodes of Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy are streaming now on Peacock. Open up the Peacock app or visit peacocktv.com and search Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. Michael, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Do you ever feel like you're juggling family schedules, screen time, and self-care pretty much all at once? TikTok recently launched a new free resource designed to make those everyday moments a little easier to manage. So joining us is Lisa Hayes, TikTok's head of safety public policy, who are here to share how the new For You calendar can help families stay organized and how parents can tailor TikTok settings to fit their household. Welcome to the show, Lisa. How are you, my friend?
Thanks for having me, Dan. I'm doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. TikTok's For You calendar just launched. What inspired this idea? And what problems were you hoping that it would solve for families?
Well, the For You calendar is our latest resource designed to help families have conversations about their online experiences and to build balanced digital habits together. If your schedule is anything like mine, you are still recovering from the holidays, you're getting the kids back to school, you're trying to stick to the New Year's resolutions. What I love about this calendar is that it is designed to help families work together to be intentional about how they are spending their time each week, both online and offline. It is a free physical calendar that lets you look at your week at a glance, planning your day-to-day activities alongside mindful moments. We've partnered with Linda Tong Planners. Linda is a very talented artist who has created this calendar in a way to spark conversation about families and to really make it easier to sit down with your teens, to think about how you're going to hold on to those 2026 resolutions and get to the end of the week ticking off everything you've planned to do at the start of the week.
And this calendar isn't just about appointments. It focuses on mindful moments. And how does that reflect what you're seeing from families using TikTok pretty much every day?
The calendar is not just about organization, it's also about connection. It is designed to help families start conversations about how you are spending your time. And the hope is that those conversations can help you build healthy habits as a family. I know in my family, we will be using this calendar every weekend to sit down and look out at the coming week together as a group. One of my New Year's resolutions is to try to get more sleep. So if I learn from my teenager that she has an early morning soccer game on Saturday, I know that I should not be scheduling a late night dinner on Friday. The idea is to spark conversation, build connection as a family, and all be moving forward through the week together, being intentional about how you are spending your time.
Okay, so I shouldn't be staying out till 3 a.m. when I have interviews at 8 a.m. Okay, I got this.
I mean, or maybe you should. It's about being intentional about whether you should be doing that and making a conscious choice about the right schedule.
All right. And you also partnered with small business owner and creator Linda Tong Planners on this. Why was it important to collaborate with a creator for this project?
Well, Linda Tong's content on TikTok is fantastic. If you'd like to see how she creates these calendars behind the scenes, you should definitely check her out on TikTok. It's important to us because small businesses are just a critical part of the TikTok community. And if you are able to go to the For You Calendar hashtag, you'll get some ideas of how parents and others on TikTok, other creators, are using this calendar already with their families to plan those intentional moments.
And while families are organizing their schedules, you're also encouraging them to review their TikTok settings. What are a couple of simple tools that parents may not realize are already available for them?
I know we're asked to do a lot as parents. That's why TikTok has built in more than 50 safety and privacy protections for teenagers that are on by default. But every parent should take the opportunity at the start of a new year to go check out family planning. Family pairing. Family pairing is our tool that lets parents connect to their teens' TikTok's accounts and to put conversations in place as a family about what the right experience is for their teen on TikTok. How much time should your teen be spending on TikTok? Are there certain hashtags or filters that you might want to filter out of their experience? Every family is different. Every child within a family is different. And the family pairing feature lets you have the conversation with your teen about how to help make sure that their TikTok experience is not only safe, but is also fun and the right one for them.
And as a mom yourself, what advice do you give families living in this new digital world when it comes to finding balance? Not perfection, but balance.
Always start these conversations with your teens from a place of curiosity. What are they doing online? How are they spending their time? What creators make them laugh and bring them joy? In my family, we love watching TikToks together and seeing who interacts and relates with what content. I love travel talk. I mean, I love to think about future dream vacations. My daughter loves book talk. She loves to discover new authors. My octogenarian dad loves STEM talk and the latest science content. But the important thing is that we are doing this together as a family, building sort of constructive conversations about what we are doing online, and that we're starting those conversations from a place of curiosity, learning what everybody else in your family, particularly your teens, is doing online is my number one tip as a parent. Start from curiosity and let your teen teach you how they are navigating the online world.
Lisa Hayes, I want to thank you for joining us today. Where can we go for more information and maybe get this calendar?
Well, we want the calendar to be as accessible as possible, so we have partnered with Linda Tong to provide a limited number of the calendars for free by visiting lindatongplanners.com. She will ship you the calendar directly to your house. And as I mentioned, check out the hashtag #ForYouCalendar to get some ideas about how other families are using the calendar to build intentional moments online and offline.
Lisa Hayes, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's it for this week's Rise and Unwind. I'm AV. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you want to keep up with the show, then you can find us on social media. Just search Rise Unwind on IG or Facebook. We've also got YouTube at Rise Unwind. You can find everything in one place at riseunwindtv.com. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk at you soon.